Hello, I'm Megan Nelson. I'm currently a junior at Winona State studying elementary education with a minor in reading instruction. I hope to teach 3rd or 4th grade in a public school post-graduation. I grew up going to public schools leading up to my public college education. I went to a preschool at Zion Lutheran Church located in downtown Anoka, a relatively small preschool that offers an education in a secure Christian environment, largely made up of boys and girls of middle class, the majority being white. After preschool, I went to Rum River Elementary, a public school in the middle class part of northern Andover, again, majority of the students being white. I went to 2 different middle schools. First, I went to Sandburg Middle School from 6th to 7th, then moved over to Anoka Middle School for the arts for 8th grade. The demographics slightly changed as we merged schools, minority being blacks and Asians, and the majority was still whites. Finally, I attended Anoka High School, the public school located right as you enter into town. Generally, it is to be considered lower to middle class school as it looks like a prison by young students. In all honesty, I had no idea what even positionality was growing up through my schooling. Likewise, if they asked me what positionality was when I was 5, I'd probably ponder the question and sit there and ask, "What is that?" And I would state, "I am just a girl." As of today, if I was posed these same questions of positionality, I would say, "I'm female, heterosexual, white, and I have type 1 diabetes." So, when did I learn these identities? Next of all, the 2 identities I will specifically focus on are my identification with the female gender and race. I was born on November 23rd and I was biologically assigned the female gender due to my anatomy. My parents gave me a female name, dressed me in pink with a headband, and called me a girl. I have identified with the female gender since birth. Looking back, when I first recognized the difference between male and female was in 4th grade, when we would have recess and the boys would go off and shoot hoops and throw the football around, and the females would play house or jump rope with friends. This was the first time I had distinguished that male and female were different. It wasn't until middle and high school that I understood there were many races in my school, because growing up in a middle-class area and attending a much nicer elementary school, there were hardly kids of race. As I attended middle school, I noticed students of other race, which would entail I identified their physical characteristics of their skin color to be different from mine. More times than not, those of peers of mine who were black skin color would act differently than my own friends who were white. A few kids, at times, would use the race card to say they can't do anything right because they said they were black. Looking back at those statements, I truly understand why they might feel insecure about their own identity, and that I, being white, am the majority, and that they, being black, are the minority. Later into high school, I became more aware of racial diversity in my school and how I thought as them to be lower than me. Because I identify as white, in fact, as I got to know a few of the kids, they were not so bad after all. Both of my encounters with the identities happened in a public school setting. After reflecting on both identities, I have concluded it is important to create an accepting environment for students who will face these certain identities within my classroom. I have pondered long and hard about what my classroom would entail. So for my classroom, I want to create an environment where students feel welcome in my classroom and they can call it their safe place as they grow into what their identities are to become.